Hello, welcome you all for another episode of Medicine Made Painless video series. Today, our topic will be acute liver failure. But before we begin, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you will never miss an episode. Now let's make medicine painless. Let's start by the definition. Acute liver failure is defined as a severe and potentially reversible liver injury in a patient without pre-existing liver disease. So, the hallmarks of acute liver failure are acute onset of hepatic encephalopathy and impaired synthetic functions of the liver. Now let's move into the etiology of acute liver failure. You can simply remember these etiologies as A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. So from A, acetaminophen, hepatitis A, alcohol, autoimmune hepatitis, and from B, hepatitis B, and from C, hepatitis C, and from D, very important, drugs and toxins, and rarely dengue. From E, hepatitis E, Epstein-Barr virus. From G, Wilson disease. From H, hyperperfusion, ischemic hepatitis, and sepsis, and also importantly, HELLP syndrome. We can categorize this etiology as viral hepatitis, drug-induced hepatitis, vascular causes, autoimmune hepatitis, and ischemic hepatitis. So under viral hepatitis, we can categorize hepatitis A, B and E, and very rarely, as I mentioned earlier, dengue. Also under drug-induced etiologies, the overdose of paracetamol is very common and excess alcohol also very common. So under vascular causes, hepatic vein thrombosis, which is a rare etiology, autoimmune hepatitis and ischemic hepatitis. It is very important to understand the pathogenesis of acute liver failure. In acute liver failure, a large proportion of hepatocytes fail in their function. This is due to injuries or necrosis during a short period of time. This will result the decline of synthetic functions, metabolism, and excretion-related functions. So it causes complications. Complications are mainly coagulopathy, hypoglycemia, and jaundice. Now let's move into the clinical manifestations. When these patients present, they are severely ill, and we can see deep jaundice and the features of hepatic encephalopathy. They will have features of cardiorespiratory compromise and renal dysfunction. Also, we can see coagulopathy with disseminated intravascular coagulation. Rarely, people with paracetamol overdose will present without many identifiable clinical manifestations. They will have minimal jaundice-like features. So how do we manage these patients? Let's first talk about investigations. We do 3 types of investigations. Mainly investigations to find out evidence of hepatocyte injury and investigation to find out causes of acute liver failure and some other investigations. So evidence of hepatocyte injury is assessed by AST and ALT levels. In acute liver failure, we can observe very high AST and ALT levels. They will be in thousands usually. Both direct and indirect serum bilirubins will be high. Neutrophil leukocytosis can be observed in full blood count and thrombocytopenia also. And we can see prolonged prothrombin time. Next, we do investigations to find out the causes of acute liver failure. As we discussed in the etiology part, there are various causes for acute liver failure. But based on the history, we can narrow down these causes. And for the suspected causes, we can do investigations. So we can do hepatitis serology and also we can do paracetamol levels. We do some other investigations also. Patients may be having features of hepatic encephalopathy. So we'll be doing serum ammonia levels and PTINR, sometimes APTT and serum creatinine levels. The patient should be ideally managed in an intensive care unit or at a high dependency unit in a ward. Maintaining adequate oxygenation and hemodynamic stability is very important. Protection of the airway and adequate ventilation is extremely important in patients with encephalopathy due to acute liver failure. Use intravenous fluids to stabilize the blood pressure and vasopressors if the fluids are ineffective. Prevent hypoglycemia with continuous blood glucose monitoring and correction. NG feeding is required if the patient is drowsy and unable to take orally. Adequate nutritional support is essential. These patients will require 3000 calories daily and proteins 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram. The protein content may be reduced further if the patient has rising ammonia levels. Oral or NG feeds are preferable to parenteral nutrition because the parenteral nutrition has metabolic complications and the risk associated with infection. Administer broad-spectrum antibiotics such as IV ceftriaxone in all patients because invariably these patients have superadded sepsis or bacteremia with severe encephalopathy and multiple organ failure. Now let's see how do we manage complications. Hepatic encephalopathy is treated with lactulose. This is a non-absorbable disaccharide that is metabolized by the bacteria in the colon to release metabolites that have an osmotic effect and short-chain fatty acids such as lactic acid and acetic acid. The acidified environment helps to reduce the bacterial load and acidify stools which binds to ammonia released by bacterial action in the gut and accelerated evacuation of the colon fast. This will reduce the time for bacteria to ferment the food. Give oral antibiotics such as metronidazole or rifaximin to reduce the bacterial load in the intestines. However, therapies used for management of encephalopathy in cirrhosis may not be effective in acute hepatic failure. Established hepatic encephalopathy causes increased intracranial pressure. This causes further worsening of the neurological functions. Increased intracranial pressure secondary to hepatic encephalopathy may be managed by propping up the patient to 30 degrees and administering hypertonic saline or mannitol. The place of LOLA in acute liver failure is unclear. So the patients with renal dysfunction followed by acute liver failure. Careful monitoring of the fluid intake and the output is required to prevent fluid overload. Renal replacement therapy may be required. Renal function improves with improvement in the liver functions. In patients with coagulopathy, do not need correction if there is no overt bleeding. In the case of bleeding or if the patient has to undergo an invasive procedure, FFP and platelets may be used for the correction. Definitive therapy in acute liver failure. Usage of NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is the most important definitive therapy for paracetamol overdose. NAC may be useful in the treatment of non-paracetamol-induced acute liver injuries also. Liver transplantation is also important in patients with acute liver injury.